All right, coming in at number 5 on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings, it's a player who I could see going as high as 2 in this draft class. It's the big centerman from the WHL's Medicine Hat Tigers. We're talking Cayden Lindstrom.
Whew, there's a lot to like about Cayden Lindstrom, Ross. This is the premium power forward prospect of the entire draft, in my opinion. Bar none. If you're looking for a power forward, this is the top guy. Now, unfortunately, kind of the main story with Cayden Lindstrom is that he missed a lot of last season, only played 32 games with the Medicine Hat Tigers in the WHL, but he made the most of it, that to say the least. In 32 games, 27 goals, so almost a goal per game clip, added 19 assists for 46 points in 32 games. He had 2 points in 4 playoff games, but scouts and everyone around him kind of realized that he wasn't 100% yet. And the reason was, Ross, he had a minor hand operation during the season, and then he had some lingering back issues as well. So I don't think he was quite 100%. Even at the combine, Ross, I was watching his interview with the press after, and he was saying he's still not at 100% yet, but it seems like everything's trending in the right direction for him to make a full recovery and for this not to be a long-term issue. So I think if you're a scout or a team and you can look past the injuries he's had this season, I think you're going to like this player a lot.
Like this player, love this player. This player is 6'3", 213 pounds, left shot centerman who brings it every night. This guy's a human highlight reel for his size. I was naturally impressed with his vision and playmaking ability as much as I was his power game and being able to beat goalies clean. Just look, 27 goals in 32 games this year. HockeyProspect.com has him ranked second on their list. Elite Prospects has him at 3. McKean's at 4. Bob McKenzie at 5. That's a nice little 2-3-4-5 run. And then the others are a little bit lower. Craig Button at 9. Wheeler at 10. And Prodman at 10. So that begs the question, why? Do they just like other players more? That's a question I couldn't really figure out the answer to, because when you're drafting for projectability and star power, it feels like a no-brainer. Why is it sometimes, Pilsy, that teams overlook the power forwards in the draft? Is it because they can look so dominant against their own age group and you wonder how it's going to work when they go against men? Because we see it year after year that top players, and maybe I'm missing a few right off the top of my head, but like I obviously think back to Brady Tkachuk falling to 4 in his draft year. Svechnikov at 2, still also a bit of a power forward, but I just think that you're looking at a guy who's going to make you silly if you pass on him in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't know why teams would pass on him, Ross, other than the injury concerns. I think it's very interesting that Button has a couple of forwards ahead of Lindstrom, like Yzerman, like Hellenius. For me, they're not even in the same tier as Lindstrom, honestly. And let's get into why. EP has him the best power forward in this class, third best shot and third best offensive forward.
His shot's hilarious. His shot's hilarious in the WHL too. He beats goalies clean.
Oh, it's easy. It's easy for him. And I love this, Ross. 4th highest ceiling and 4th highest floor. So you want a mix of a guy that's already there but has room to grow. Cayden Lindstrom's your guy, and 5th best transition forward. Mitch Brown from EP did an article on, or a video on him that just shows how crafty he is with his speed. He's going to beat guys not just with straight lines. He uses that big frame to fend off defenders while he's trying to cut inside. A lot of guys in the WHL can't handle his size. He plays with pace. And what he does is he can quickly shift directions while maintaining speed and power. Like, it's not like a pivot or a direction change is going to slow him down or stop him from getting a step on a guy. He shifts directions, has the defender bite on it, and then by the time the defenders realize what happened, he's already made that push to keep going in the opposite direction now. And you have to talk about the shot. Like, his wrist shot is absolutely lethal. He can get it off quickly. He can shoot it from anywhere. But it also allows him to be a great playmaker too, because teams are so worried about his shot that as soon as they cheat on the shot, he's finding an open man and he's making a great play there. And then I'll wrap it up on this, Ross. You might be thinking, okay, cool. He's really good on offense or with the puck on his stick. This guy is an elite defender as well. Like not in the he's not a liability defensively. He's all right defensively. He's average defensively. No. I put him a step above even. He puts pressure on opponents in all areas. He gets in shooting lanes, breaks up passes with his stick. Like this guy is just so engaged. He's the complete package, in my opinion. If you're looking for a power forward that plays a strong, fast, offensive, defensive game. Like I could go on and on. There's just so much I like about this player.
Now, only 1 goal, 1 assist in 4 playoff games, and we know that he wasn't at
Yeah.
100%. I just don't know if that's a benefit to him where it's like, hey, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He wasn't playing that great, but he wasn't at his best. And you could even say a little bit in the second half of the season, that would be why some scouts were a little bit more down on him. Now, reading Scott Wheeler, this part stuck out like a sore thumb. The expectation is still that he'll be picked higher than where I have him. He has him at 11, but or 10 rather now. But a lack of second half viewings and the injuries do complicate his projection and will be a talking point as teams debate him whether he's a top 5 talent or more of a top 10 guy. But in the front half of the season, it was easy to see why so many were excited about him. This to me is becoming more and more of a wild card situation than a guaranteed slam dunk. I didn't think there was a chance that he would get past the Columbus Blue Jackets at 4th overall. But now you look at the bigger picture. Is there other guys who maybe Columbus falls in love with, a Sam Dickinson or someone else? Maybe. But if we're just going most exciting ceiling, to me, he's the 3rd best player in the draft behind Ivan
Yeah.
Demidov and Macklin Celebrini. There's just too many tools and too much upside. Now, if we're looking at the concerns, because we've been gushing over him for the last 8 minutes, I think that the hockey sense, he just needs to be taught a little bit better. I think the one thing is he can learn how to put all of those tools together and make his life easier on the ice. And maybe, I'm not saying it's a direct correlation, but maybe by working smarter, not harder, he might be able to avoid a couple injuries going forward. Not that it was the case in the past, but I think that he could go to work hard or work smarter instead of, trying to always battle through whatever he's going with.
I'm not sure how he got those injuries, Ross. I don't know, like what happened. That something happened with his hand, and then I'm not sure if it was like one play that hurt his back or not. So I can't really comment on that. But for teams and Wheeler saying, well, not a lot of second half viewings, but what we saw from the first half was incredible.
Yeah.
Look, if you're a junior team and you're looking to make a push for the Mem Cup next year, yeah, those are red flags. You're worried about that. But you're not drafting Cayden Lindstrom for who he's going to be next season or even the season after that. You're drafting this guy for what he's going to do for years to come in the NHL. Like, I don't know. It seems very short sighted to me to have scouts and people say, well, we didn't get to see a lot of him in the second half of the season. Well, he's hurt. Like, what are you supposed to do? He dominated when he was healthy.
Wheel him out.
Well, even when they wheeled him out, like 2 points in 4 playoff games isn't that bad for a guy that's not at 100%.
Now, the other thing we have to bring up with Cayden Lindstrom, and I know Medicine Hat wasn't necessarily a great team, but he was playing with what is the most exciting player in junior hockey right now, Gavin McKenna.
Oh, well, Basha
No.
also.
Well, Gavin McKenna is 15 years old and 97 points. Like, that guy's in a different universe, but obviously played with Andrew Basha as well. Now, he missed half the season, but he's also 8th on his team in points. Like he was on an offensively gifted team that couldn't keep the puck out of their net. Their goalies would make Korpisalo look like Patrick Waugh. Their goalie save percentage this year, 893, 886, 884, 875.
I mean, that's not good. That's not good. That's probably, isn't that better than Korpisalo though? Still,
he'd be right in the middle there.
Yikes.
But I'm just saying, like, there were guys getting points, and obviously he was a huge part of that. He was second on the fourth on the team in goals, despite playing half the number of games. I'm trying to play devil's advocate because we already discussed how unbelievable of a talent he is. I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact that he might be a Montreal Canadian at 5.
Ross, in my mind, there's no way he drops below the Habs at 5. There's no way. Like, if he does, that's insane. That's insane that he
Could
goes
you
that
imagine
low.
there's a run of defensemen that early, though, which it wouldn't be the craziest thing. Could you imagine if
No.
the Habs have to choose between Lindstrom and Demidov at 5? I doubt it, but imagine a world where.
They would still pick the wrong guy. They would pick someone else. But look, maybe there's Habs fans watching this right now because your team just drafted Cayden Lindstrom, and they're laughing at me, and that's worthy. But look, I know you're trying to play devil's advocate, Ross, but I ain't hearing it. I'm not hearing it. The only concerns is that he missed half a season due to injury, and if that's a complete roadblock for you, and as a scout and a team, you're not going to draft him for that. That's poor decision making, in my opinion, because when you have a complete package like this, you gotta go for it here. Now, I don't know, maybe people are saying, well, you don't want to power forward with back issues. That could be serious down the road, sure. But to pass on a guy like this, like, I don't think scouts are going to be able to forgive themselves if they pass on Cayden Lindstrom and he falls here. He could be the steal of the draft. So 5-star guy for me, Ross. 5 stars. Even the nitpicking devil's advocate spots, I'm not hearing it. This guy's the complete real deal.
He will be 3rd on my list, and you took the words and the question right out of my mouth. Cayden Lindstrom comes in with an average rank of 6.9. He is 5th on our Locked On Senators NHL draft rankings.